This woman got the fright of her lifetime when she was casually swimming in the sea with her friends. She thought she knew these waters and its creatures because she had been studying them for years. But she was absolutely wrong. This stingray was watching her all day and jumped on her back when it saw the opportunity. But then she suddenly saw why Samantha had always loved the ocean. Ever since she was a little girl, she had spent countless hours exploring the reefs and swimming with the colorful fish. She had always felt a deep connection to the sea, as if it were a part of her very being. So when she decided to take a job at the local marine biology center, it seemed like a dream come true. She would get to spend her days studying and caring for the creatures she loved so much. She was especially excited to work with the stingrays. At first, everything was perfect. She loved getting to know each of the stingrays, watching them glide gracefully through the water. But on this very day, a certain stingray had plans with this woman, plans that would startle her greatly. At first, the day started out as any other. Samantha arrived at the Marine Biology Center bright and early, ready to start her day. She donned her wetsuit and headed out to the outdoor area where the facility met the ocean. This was the place where the stingrays could live and flourish in their own wild habitat. She studied the beautiful creatures the entire morning, and everything was going perfectly as planned. She gathered a lot of information that was useful for further research, and she even stroked the back of a small stingray as it swam by her. But in the distance, there was one particular stingray that kept lurking without coming any closer to her. And this animal would later that day give Samantha the fright of her lifetime. Because after her day of working at the biology facility, she decided to take one more swim in the ocean. This time not as a researcher, but as a woman who just loved the ocean and its inhabitants. Just a casual swim in her spare time, observing all its underwater beauty. But that's when it happened. She was not wearing her scuba gear this time and was just cruising through the water in her casual bathing suit. She glided through the water as if she was a stingray herself. Maybe these beautiful animals have taught me a thing or two about swimming, Samantha thought. And before she knew it, she was quite a distance away from the shore. The water was wonderfully warm, and she was enjoying herself immensely. She completely forgot her surroundings, and after a while, she looked back to see where her friends and colleagues who decided to go on this swim with her remained. She did not realize how fast she went. Her swimming capabilities were obviously a lot better than theirs because they were still lengths away. Her legs made smooth figure eights, and with that, Samantha balanced calmly and stably in the crisp blue water. Her friends were slowly but surely getting closer to her. She didn't realize she had swum that far ahead. But even before her friends reached her, she noticed that she was not alone. Suddenly, she felt something touching her leg repeatedly. A large stingray repeatedly nudged Samantha's back, causing her to panic and swim desperately toward her friends on the sandy beach. Although the ray followed her, it eventually retreated into the sea when she reached shore. Samantha returned to the sea reluctantly the next day, despite her fear. Her friends reassured her, unaware of the looming danger. However, the same aggressive stingray reappeared, targeting Samantha once more. Despite efforts from her friends and rescue swimmers, Samantha found herself in distress until the rescue team intervened and brought her to safety aboard a boat. And as Samantha walked from side to side, the animal kept following her. Maybe it wasn't trying to attack her. Maybe it wanted to tell her something important. Samantha mustered her courage and told the rescue team that she was going into the water again. She told the people on the boat to keep close to her in case her instincts were off. But Samantha turned out to be right about the animal this time. The moment she dove in the water, the stingray jumped on her back again, just like before. But Samantha didn't panic this time and told the people on the boat to hold off and wait for her instructions. She calmed her breath, closed her eyes, and that's when it happened. The boat slowly floated over to Samantha and the stingray, and then something miraculous happened. The stingray suddenly stopped pestering Samantha and started swimming towards a nearby rock formation. The people on the boat and Samantha's friends were perplexed, wondering what had just happened. Why would it suddenly stop without any reason? It was almost like it wanted them to arrive. Samantha sensed something amiss and understood that the stingray needed her help. She instructed the sloop's captain to follow at a distance to avoid startling the animal. Though the crew was perplexed, they trusted Samantha's judgment and complied. They trailed the ray until they discovered a distressing sight. a baby stingray trapped in a fishing net within a rock crevice. Realizing that the mother stingray had been attempting to alert her, Samantha sprang into action. She approached the crevice and saw the struggling baby stingray up close. Without hesitation, Samantha requested a knife from the boat's occupants. The captain swiftly provided one, and Samantha began cutting the net, eventually freeing the baby stingray after a few minutes of painstaking effort. The moment the baby ray swam freely was met with jubilation by all present. Samantha returned to the boat, cradling the rescue creature, while both the baby and its mother showed no resistance, acknowledging Samantha's aid. It was a remarkable display of trust between humans and animals. The mother stingray followed close behind, as if to make sure that her baby was safe. Samantha put the baby stingray on the boat just to see if it was not injured anywhere. They did a quick search, and luckily, the baby was in perfect health. So as soon as they were finished, Samantha gently placed the baby stingray back in the water. The mother stingray was waiting patiently nearby. It was clear to Samantha that this stingray knew that she was here to help, and as soon as her baby was set free, she swam over to it and began to nudge it with her nose. Samantha watched in amazement as the mother and baby swam off together, disappearing into the depths of the ocean. And as she saw the two stingrays swim away, she felt a deep sense of satisfaction about what had just happened. She had been able to help this little creature and make a difference in its life. Samantha felt grateful to have been given the opportunity to save a life and to make a connection with these creatures that she loved so much. For Samantha, it was a life-changing experience. She had always loved the ocean and the creatures that lived in it after the incident, but now she felt even more connected to them than she did before. She realized that there was so much more to these creatures than what people might think, and even more than she as an expert previously thought. She understood they were intelligent. They had emotions that rivaled human beings, and they had the ability to communicate with humans in their own way. After the incident, Samantha had a new appreciation for these wonderful sea creatures, and that's why she did the following thing. Samantha immediately contacted the local government and fought for a ban on local fishing in this water. She sent them the pictures and videos of her rescue mission that day. She expected a hollow and late response, but the reaction she received was the opposite. With all that evidence, she convinced the local government in no time to ban fishing entirely in that part of the bay. It was an amazing result, and one she did not expect to be granted that quickly. But Samantha and her friends were happy with the result they achieved, and she knew that the stingrays could now swim in peace and grow up without the fear of nets or other human interruptions. From that day on, Samantha became a leading advocate for the protection and preservation of stingrays and other marine creatures, not only in her area but on a larger scale.